One problem that sex workers face is that the police don't take our complaints seriously and often refuse to investigate when we report a crime. I feel like some people don't realize how much of a problem this actually is. So here's my story of when the police didn't take my complaint seriously. This happened in 2012. I was meeting a client and I usually would meet them at a hotel, but it was winter, so I didn't want to walk there. So I asked him to pick me up at the corner of my street and take me to the hotel. So I got in the car and he started driving past the hotel. I knew something was wrong and I started telling him to let me out of the car. He took out a fake police badge and said I was under arrest. It was really obvious he wasn't a real police officer, so I was like really scared at that point. And like I didn't know what his intentions were, if he was gonna like rape me and kill me, or like why he was doing this. He made me give him my ID, and then he took out a pair of handcuffs and handcuffed me. And like I was really scared, but I decided the best thing to do is just to stay calm and like wait for my chance to get away from him. So then he's like, I don't have to take you to jail. You could go to work for me and you have to make $300 a night or I'm going to take you to jail. And he said if I try to run away, that he was gonna come to my house and arrest me because he had my address from my state ID. So I was just thinking like it's better just to like go along with it for now. So I was just kind of like, yeah, that's a great idea. I don't want to go to jail. That I would prefer that much instead. So we kept driving until we finally got off the highway in like an unfamiliar area. And I told him we had to stop at the gas station to buy some condoms. And at first he was like, oh no, we don't need to stop anywhere. But I insisted about it and he finally agreed to stop to get the condoms. So when we walked into the store, I told the clerk, I need you to call 911. This guy is holding me against my will. The clerk just looked at me like I was stupid and he said they didn't have a phone. I felt like that was really messed up, but he probably didn't want to attract like police attention to his store. So, I mean, I understand, but it was still really mean to do that, I think. Yeah, so I took out my phone to call 911, but my battery was dead, so I couldn't call anyone. So the guy was still like standing there next to me in the store, like after I had like made this big scene and like no one was doing anything. And so I finally just told him like that he better leave before the cops get here. I'm not gonna leave the store with him or get back in his car or anything. So I really don't like the police, and most of my interactions with them have been bad, even when I've been the victim of a crime. So I really didn't want to call the police, but my phone had died and it would have been hard for me to call someone to pick me up. And also I wanted to report that guy in case he tried to do this to somebody else. And like, so somebody called the police for me and they were there within like 10 minutes and I told the police what happened. And the first thing they did was check and see if I had any warrants that they could arrest me on. And then they thought that it was suspicious that I didn't have my ID, although it was because the guy had stolen it when he was trying to kidnap me. So instead of asking me for a description of the guy or his car, or if I had gotten his license plate, they started immediately telling me how dumb I was for being female and getting in a car with a stranger. They treated me like I was the criminal and not the victim. He drove a very distinctive car, and I believed he was still in the area, but the police refused to even look for the car or look for him. I wanted to file a police report, but the officer said I couldn't because I didn't know the man's last name. And he might have lied about his first name, too. Okay, so if I'm walking down the street and somebody runs up and steals my purse and I don't know their last name, like, does that mean that the police can't take a police report or investigate that because I don't know the criminal who snatched my purse's first and last name? Like, that doesn't even make any sense. So, but that's what they said. They said that they wouldn't do it because I didn't know his name. I feel like kidnapping someone, trying to sex traffic them, and impersonating a police officer are serious crimes, but apparently not when it happens to a sex worker. The officer literally just went on and on about how stupid I was and how dangerous it was for women to get in the car with a stranger. Like, maybe if they took these cases more seriously, these guys would think twice before victimizing us and it wouldn't be so dangerous. The reason I felt that I had to call the police was because I was in an unfamiliar area and I had no idea where I was. And I needed to get home. This happened like early in the evening, so there was still buses running, but I wasn't comfortable standing alone at the bus stop knowing that he was likely still in the area. They were reluctant to give me a ride anywhere, but I guess my safety just didn't matter to them. But eventually they did say that since they were headed downtown anyways, they could like give me a ride downtown and I could get on the bus downtown and go home from like where I know my way home from. So I went downtown and got on the bus and went home, and that man was free to go about his business without the police even looking for him. Other people I've told the story to have said that I should have met him at the hotel or I should have screened him more thoroughly. This may be true, and obviously that's exactly what I thought when he started handcuffing me. Because of the financial situation I was in, though, at the time, it really wouldn't have been practical for me to try to like heavily screen every client that I saw, because a lot of people like don't feel comfortable with like that amount of screening. So I just wouldn't have been able to make enough money if I like did that for everybody. So I think this kind of victim blaming is really counterproductive, because if I had refused to get in his car, I'm sure he still would have found somebody who was willing to. There still would have been a victim. It just wouldn't have been me. And I don't want any sex worker to be victimized like that. If the police would investigate crimes against us and look for us when we go missing, predators wouldn't feel secure in the knowledge that the police aren't going to do anything when they commit crimes against us. And that's what we really need to like stop this kind of thing from happening, not us screening clients more thoroughly. So I just think it's really wrong the way police don't take our complaints seriously, and I hope that that can change. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon if you want to be notified when I post a new video.